Hey y'all, this is Marley K. Hope everybody is well. I want to cover a couple of stories that I haven't really covered much of because I've just kind of been sitting back and waiting for things to unfold so that I can kind of bring you a picture of what's going on and share some of my thoughts. So, as you can see, the war in the Middle East has escalated astronomically over the past few weeks. And it's a religious war, Islam versus Judaism. It's a war of groups. Um, it's a proxy war. It's a lot of different things. So you just can't look at it and be like, oh, these two are fighting. There's a lot of stuff involved in these wars and these different groups or factions or nations and peoples and religions and monetary systems and belief systems and ethnic groups. So you just can't look at it and be like, oh, yeah, I know what's happening. I'm on this side. It's impossible if you have a good, healthy brain and you can think logically um, that you'd be able to take a side. It's impossible to take a side. You should, and as far as I'm concerned, if you are an African American Black person, you don't have no business taking a side of nothing, because at the end of the day, we don't have anything to contribute except for our bodies, which they are going to eventually recruit for their war efforts. So that's one thing that I want to talk about today. So let me share this story with you from the South China Morning Post. It came out 3 days ago. It says up to 6 Chinese warships present in the Middle East over the past week. So this is a story nobody's talking about, but it just lets you know how every nation is out here flexing. If they got something to flex, they flexing it. Everybody is ready to go for whatever it is they were trying to achieve in order to conquer whatever they want to conquer, and so that they can play their role in transitioning us into this new global order with this one world government. And like I told you, everything was going to be happening pretty quickly, and it is. Uh, Most people are not keeping up with the business or the supply chain aspects of it. So I'm going to talk about that later too. Just some intel that I got from like my dad and some other people who like drive trucks, and just how, you know, little things are being moved, and store shelves are being fronted. You see now they got Halloween and Christmas stuff out already. If you know anything about those types of signs, those are not good signs. It means they got to skip seasons and skip times to make sure they capitalize off of your naivete, because they understand things are going to be slow. And at the end of the day, all that's important to them is money. So you're a walking paycheck, and they're looking for how they can get your last few pennies uh, out of your pocket before the bottom falls out. So we'll talk about that on another video. But anyway, the war efforts are kicking up, which means the draft is likely coming back. Although they say it's not, it is. And what we don't realize is that they've changed the age range of draftees, and they have included women. They have the language already ready. I'm not sure if they passed the bill yet or not. I talked about this on Medium before they silenced my account. But women are, I think I even did a video about it, about how women can now be drafted. And they've made accommodations in the military for transformers, the elemental P people. So all the people who are so liberal and, oh, we hate war, you shouldn't have guns, those people are going to be drafted to go into the military. And they like to talk about, oh, this political party is so terrible. Well, now their political party has, headed up a couple of wars, and they're gonna have to go fight them. And so what are they gonna do? They're gonna go back and be trying to blame Trump. Try to blame the Republicans, try to blame anybody except themselves for being so short-sighted, selfish, and um, lacking of common sense. Who knows? But if you have young people, y'all need to be talking to them. I mean, and even people like my age in the 50s, we could be drafted up to you 70 years old, I think. Now, I know in some countries it's like 65, but nobody's safe. So, everybody should be concerned about what's happening as far as this war is concerned. It doesn't matter if you have uh, criminal convictions, if you use drugs, if you have certain types of disabilities. When it comes down to it, when they need you for their war efforts, they're going to come get you, and they're going to change the rules so that they can get you. So sitting back and saying, I don't care, it don't have nothing to do with me. Yeah, sure, we can say that to a certain extent, but we are captives. Um, if we're in America, we are captives. If you're not white, you're a captive. So they're going to put us out on the front lines when it's time, because it ties into the depopulation agenda as well. So if you are true Israel, you know they got to get rid of us, because fewer of us it is to cry out. Perhaps they think they can keep us sinning, they can stay in power, and they can delay the inevitable. But they cannot beat the Most High. They've already set the actions into motion, and so things are happening very quickly, which is why we must be on guard at all times, keeping watch and praying, hoping that we're found worthy to escape what's coming, because the warfare, this 5G, fifth generation warfare, is not like the other wars. And that's what people are really not gonna get. It's gonna be biological, it's gonna be technological, it's gonna be social engineering, it's going to be some military combat, but it's not going to be the way that you think it is. They keep talking about nuclear war, nuclear war, nuclear war. But just think about it. If you blow up so much stuff, which you have to rule over, you have nothing to rule. You have no people to rule. You have nothing to control. So, they are scaring us with all this stuff, when at the end of the day, the real war is the social engineering, getting us to hate each other so that we'll fight each other, and them needing more weapons so that we can fight. And then you have one supreme leader who comes in and says, I have the answer, I have peace, let's do this thing, new treaty. Nothing new happens, nothing better happens. We're just now under total subjugation, the entire world, instead of different nations. And we're all going to be subjugated to the pink people. Y'all know who the pink people are. I apologize, Gentiles, if you are on this channel, but we have to find ways to talk about other things and other people who do harm. And if you're in that group, you should not take it personal. You should be able to look at the totality of what those people have done to the world and to nations, and own it like everybody else does. So, um, it says the arrival of a replacement escort group in the Gulf region meant to advanced 052D destroyers have been stationed there at a time of heightened tensions. And there is in the Middle East. The PLA's 44th Task Force left Muscat for an unspecified location on Saturday after taking part in a joint exercise with the Omani Navy. Up to 6 Chinese warships have been operating in the Middle East over the past week, according to reports. The 44th Naval Escort Task Force has been involved in routine operations in the area since May, and last week spent several days on a visit to Oman, including a joint exercise with the country's Navy, according to the Chinese Defense Ministry website. So you see how, China is like able to make connections in nations that The dominant society couldn't. And everybody's playing with everybody. So these old alliances that America and the West had, they are crumbling faster than a dry piece of cake. Um, so it says during the visit, Chinese commanders met Omni military officials and visited military institutions while sailors from both countries toured each other's shops. So I guess it's supposed to be ships. They also organized a basketball game, according to the state news agency Xinhua. Um, it says the task force is from the People's Liberation Army Eastern Theater and includes the Zibo, a type of 052D or 052D guided missile destroyer, the frigate Jingzhou, and the integrated supply ship Jiangdahu. Excuse me if I butchered that. I know I butchered that, but I don't know how to pronounce it. It has been involved in escort missions for shipping since arriving in the Gulf of Aden, north of Somalia, 6 months ago. So you see how long they've been planning this stuff. Nothing that is happening today is accidental. Everything is planned, staged, and handed over its mission to the 45th Escort Task Force earlier this month. The new convoy from the PLA's Northern Theater Command consists of another Type 052 destroyer, the Urumqi? I don't know. Forgive me. The frigate Linyi and supply ship Dongpinghu. Forgive me again. The Linyi took part in its first mission, escorting a Panamanian cargo ship in an unknown location earlier this month, um, according to Xinhua. The recent tour was the first destroyer Zibo's first escort mission since it was commissioned in January 2020. The Urumqi was commissioned in early 2018 and was involved in another escort mission in the Gulf of Aden 2 years ago. So they're escorting stuff. So let me just get down to the bottom part. So it says in the wake of the attack by Hamas on Israel on October the 7th, the U.S. sent its own advanced carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, and its battle group to the Eastern Mediterranean. And this is what I want to focus on because war is inevitable now. People ain't moving all this stuff and all these people and spending all this money for nothing. And this lets you know that, like I was telling you earlier, this year, the New World Order agenda has been accelerated. People are waking up. People are choosing sides. It's not going as easy as they thought it was. Um, we do have people with common sense who are not afraid to talk, and so they have had to expedite this rolling out of this plan, which includes destroying and stuff and taking out people and lands and resources and supplies and food, so that we will have so much chaos, we will be crying and begging for their order. And they're going to introduce the plan that they've already created. And we've been talking about their plan, this new world order, this new final beast system, this last government structure for a minute now. So we are well on our way. We're in the throes of it. And I just wanted to keep y'all up to date. You see the stuff about the strikes, who's dropping bombs or whatever, and all these different threats. They're going to blow each other off the map over there. That's where it's going to start. It is coming through the West. So, if those of us who live in the West, those of us who are in captivity in the West, if you're a true Israel Yasharel, you understand what I'm talking about. We have to be prepared, which means, you can't be signing up your children to go into the military because our children will be the first that's going to be sacrificed. We already know that from King Alfred's plan. If you don't know what that is, you need to go over to my Rumble channel, look in the description, look for that video, and listen to the content of it, and then look in the description and follow the links for the information. We are at risk. And when I say we, I mean true Israel, African American, Black people, um, and those true Israel scattered all over the world. We're in danger because the ultimate goal is to keep us subjugated, dominated, exterminated so that the adversary can remain in power. And so we have to be knowledgeable about all the adversary's steps and the adversary's children so that we can keep ourselves safe because we got to endure to the end, and that's the goal. So one of the things that I want to talk about with this particular subject is the draft. And a video came out like 3 days. I'm sorry, not a video. A story came out 3 days ago that got little attention, but I want to talk about it because I've talked about it before and I don't hear anybody else talking about it, so it concerns me. So it says, could a draft be on the way? And this is from the BizPack review, which is also significant. So it says, Gen Z put on notice as buzz of World War III sparks genuine concern. And y'all know this is the entitled generation. They don't think they're supposed to do nothing. Everything's supposed to be, somebody else supposed to fight. They're supposed to get everything for free. And they can just be sexually undisciplined, be whatever they want, do whatever they want, and not listen to nobody and not know history, just whatever. So now it's getting ready to be their time to shine. So we're getting ready to see how they react, although we already know how they're going to react. But this article is interesting. So it says, with ongoing wars and global tensions rising, Americans are suddenly wondering if low military recruitment levels could lead to a return of the draft. And I think I did a video about how America couldn't get any good recruits. They're unfit. They have TikTok brains. They like to play video games. They smoke weed. They do drugs. They have criminal records, backgrounds that make them ineligible. They have all types of tattoos. They got all kinds of challenges, which stems from poor parenting, degradation of societal norms, and just the culture that we once had is no longer intact. So this is the result of a couple of generations of, I would say, civil rights movements and feminism. So it says, as Russia and Ukraine continue their war and eyes turn to Israel in the wake of the Hamas terrorist attack, Papa's call for wartime aid in a speech Thursday stirred the pot on the possibility of military conscription. So it says, just in, this came from X, formerly known as Twitter. It says, as the United States military bases are currently under attack overseas, Biden compares the current situation to World War II and relates it to democracy. World War III, here we come. You know, just as in World War II, today patriotic American workers are building whatever. So this tweet came out on October the 19th. I'm not going to play it because I don't want to get any strikes. But it's journalist and podcast host Tim Pool warned the draft could be reinstated in the U.S. And first in line, he contended, would be Gen Z voters who align with Democrats and the left. So it says, after we get rid of the draft and move toward the all-volunteer military, it's basically an economic system of, hey, we've got a great job for you, pays well, has big bonuses, Poole explained. But now that the politics have bifurcated this country, you've got a lot of younger people who are like, I don't want to join the military, he continued, reminding that recruitment for the armed forces is way, way down, which is very true. And it's been like that for a long time. Even, I would say last 12 years, it's been down. But with the involvement of the US and Ukraine and now Israel, if this does escalate into a larger war that involves Russia or China, they will bring back the draft. No question, he emphasized, noting that it is Gen Z who is first in line. Have fun, guys, Poole added before contending that anti-gun activist uh, David Hogg will not be drafted. And so the guy says he is wealthy, privileged, political elite, and just like during the old drafts, he will be protected, Poole elaborated, and which is true. You think of all of these presidents, not many of them signed up to go into the military, not many of them served, and if they did, you're hard pressed to find anybody who knew them, who saw them in service. Or, they were allowed to move up the ranks. They did what other wealthy people do. They send their kids to college. They enlist in high school. They'll go to a military college, or they'll do ROTC, get scholarships, and then go in as commissioned officers, where they don't have to go through the same rigmarole that the enlisted have to go in, when they sign up. So they have a racket. It's two tracks, just like in regular life. There's the track for white people. There's a track for everybody else. There's a track for the wealthy. There's a track for everybody else. There's a track for the educated and well connected, those who are in social and civic societies, and then there's a track for other people. There's always another track. There's always a better road for certain people, and the military is no exception. So it's going to be all these young, dumb people who believed him being Papa, voted for Democrats, who are the ones who are going to be marching on the front line. And I could not agree more, because people who like to play, political faves don't really understand that there ain't no good side. There are no good people. So it says amid a reported uptick in online searches about the draft, WKYC TV reported on the unlikelihood of a draft using government sources to verify. Of course they would. If they say that, that means for damn sure there's going to be a draft. Whatever they tell you they ain't going to do, that means they're going to do the opposite, because that's how they do. So get ready. Y'all know they control all the media, so we can just rest assured that you will be seeing a draft sometime soon, especially because they already feel like there's a bunch of worthless people. But they need to get rid of people. So a draft is a way to get rid of people twofold. One, you send people out into the front lines into a war that you already created, and you get them yeeted. And then you send them to places to yeet people, and then they yeet people based on orders. And then twofold. It's a twofer. So the people that they want, the least desirable of societies, will be sent first. It's about to get crazy, y'all. So it says you're about to be drafted to fight Papa's wars, he wrote to America's Gen Z. To vote Democrat in 2024 means to vote for war. Well, I'd say to vote, period, is to vote for war, because all these governments are the same. There is no good side. So that argument is stupid. If you just vote in, period, these leaders are controlled by, y'all know who the people are. Those powerful people who control everything. Esau and them people. So it says social media users concurred with the outlook, with many pointing out how the younger voters helped hand power to the party that has now challenged their future. To many, the only answer is a Donald Trump election victory, a platform the former president, who decried the nation's involvement in foreign wars, could easily get behind. Unfortunately, The wars have already been started, so he ain't gonna stop no war. He's just gonna pick up where the last president left off, because they're all controlled. They're all chosen to lead at their appointed time. So if that one comes back, it will be because they have put the final nail in the coffin for America, and they are ready to dismantle it, this nation, and just do away with it. So it's going to be ripped apart from the inside out. So this picture of a young person crying because they got drafted is hilarious, because those are the very people who will tell you all lives matter, or they will tell you, we are fighting for equity, and you gotta let the elemental P people go to whichever bathroom they want to go to. Love is love. War or peace, not war, or whatever crazy stuff they come up with. Those will be the people that are in line to go first. Those are going to be the very people who have mental health issues, can't go, can't do nothing. Should have got a bunch of tweets in here. So anyway, the war efforts are going to lead to draft. And it's something that I'm concerned about, because I have loved ones who are in the military. I have loved ones who are disconnected, retired, or some they're retired, or they've served their time, but they understand they can always be recalled because they have special skill sets that are highly useful in theater, global conflicts. And so, I keep an eye on it because I understand that. But I also have younger relatives who went in because, they were just trying to escape home. They were trying to get money for college. Well, now you got to go to war. And it's just going to be a very stressful time for a lot of families. Holidays coming up. People are already getting sent off, to conflicts everywhere. And so, as there are fewer opportunities for work, as supply chains slow down, as corporations begin to lay off, close their businesses down, convert their businesses to assist the government with its war efforts, you're going to see things change. And I don't think people are prepared, and I don't think people are talking about this enough. So if you have young people, you need to be talking to them. And it doesn't matter if you got a weed head, a criminal, or what. When it comes to war and it comes to drafts, they don't care. As you saw in Russia, they was drafting everybody, even old people. Same in Ukraine. Everybody got a gun. Women, children, old people, everybody had to do their part. These people don't care about us. So, we really need to be lifting up each other in prayer and trying to keep each other covered and protected, because these are dangerous times, and a lot of people just really do not understand what's happening. We've been programmed to death. Like, people are like, I feel like we're living in a special needs world now. The whole world is a special needs class, and it's just a few of us who are teachers who are able to look down and see what is going on, and it is pathetic. But we can't do anything. All this stuff was prophesied a long time ago. It has to come to pass. So again, the goal is to endure to the end. So y'all stay ready, keep watch, keep praying, keep prepping. Please continue to keep prepping, because I don't know when the bottom is going to fall out of this economy. But the New World Order agenda is definitely on a roll, and there ain't much we're going to be able to do to stop it, because we are living in a special needs world with a bunch of special needs people and blind people and just people who don't give a crap. So those of us who are awakened, we have the luxury of carrying all the world's burdens on our shoulders right now, whether it's concern or prayer or just, you know, having compassion for your brothers and sisters because they're just so ignorant. So keep watch, family. Keep watch. It's getting ready to get rough, and I don't see any way out of it. All right, y'all. This is Marley K, and I'm out.